Welcome back. This time we're talking about Demolition, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and from director Jean-Marc Vallée. Now on paper this seems like a great marriage of talent. Vallée, I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, his last two films were Wild and Dallas Buyers Club. Both films that earned at least two Oscar nominations, and in the case of Dallas Buyers Club, got two wins. And Gyllenhaal, who has had a incredibly strong run of films like Southpaw and Nightcrawler, who can't seem to break into the Oscar nominations. So, like I said, on paper this seems like a great marriage. But does it make a good movie? Fortunately it does. This is an excellent movie. Not always the happiest of movies, obviously, if you consider what the subject matter is, and that subject is loss. Gyllenhaal plays an investment banker named Davis. And in the opening moments of the movie, he and his wife are in a car crash, and she tragically dies. And he is wholly unprepared to deal with the aftermath emotionally. And it seems to be a combination of the shock of the loss and him, for whatever reason, not feeling the emotions that he feels he should. He's not, whether he's just bottling it up so he's not feeling it, or he's legitimately not feeling it, and there's a problem emotionally with him. He doesn't know, but he knows something is off. And he seems to, in the moments after finding out that his wife died, goes to a vending machine to get a snack. And he tries to get peanut M&Ms, and the machine, the candy gets stuck. So he decides to write a complaint letter to the company, and ends up telling everything about what has happened to him in the moments leading to his wife's death and the aftermath. And these very long personal letters are read by the company's customer service rep, Karen, played by Naomi Watts. And she has her own issues and finds some kind of kindred spirit in Davis, which is a little scary considering the emotional place he's in right now. And she has a son named Chris who has his own issues, and Davis and Karen, they kind of circle each other for a while, but eventually become sort of friends. Now, I don't want to be too literal with the comparison, but there's definitely a Silver Linings Playbook feel to this story, where you have two relatively broken characters coming together. Now, obviously in that movie, if you've seen it, the fear of the characters around the two leads was that they were going to feed off each other into a downward spiral. And there's definitely feelings in this movie that there's a lot of unhealthy choices being made. I mean, there are some humorous moments in this movie, but this is not a comedy. At best, it's a very dark comedy, but it's more of a character study, a drama with some funny elements. And there are definitely times where you're watching these characters, especially when you see Davis hanging out with Chris, and you're just like, these are not great decisions that are being made at this moment. But they're maybe understandable considering the situation. But what I liked about the movie is it's not asking us to accept that these are good decisions. It's only asking us to accept that these are decisions that are being made by these characters in these situations. And I have to say the various storylines do come together in the end in a very satisfying way. And I really enjoyed this movie. It's definitely a highly emotional movie. It's not one to go in on a whim, because there's a definitely serious if at times funny look at loss and how we deal with losing someone we love, especially when we're left with the feeling that we didn't take care of that love in a way that we should have. The acting in this movie is excellent, led by Jake Gyllenhaal. He has just been on a great run recently, like I mentioned before, with Nightcrawler and Southpaw. I have to admit I haven't actually seen either of those movies. I had time issues and other issues that were I was dealing with at the time those movies came out. That's the excuse that I'm going to have to give you at this point. But I did tell myself that when I saw that another apparent powerhouse performance film from him was being released, I was going to go see it. So when I saw the trailers for Demolition, I knew my time had come, and I'm glad I did. But he's not alone in this movie. Naomi Watts is great as Karen, as another broken character. Chris Cooper plays Davis's father-in-law. He's excellent in this movie. And I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I get his name right. Judah Lewis plays Chris, who is Karen's son. And from best I can tell, this is probably his biggest role to date. And nails it. There's a development in his character I honestly didn't see coming, and he pulls it off great. So, this is a movie that is definitely worth going to see if you don't mind seeing a movie that deals with some very serious issues such as loss and regret and the sometimes very destructive path that we take when we're dealing with these emotions. It's a very well directed film. The editing style to it, the way they interchange scenes, we're always seeing glimpses of Davis's wife in reflections and in the backgrounds. It's a beautifully crafted film, and definitely one that you should check out if you're interested in these kind of movies. So, I'm going to stop there, and if you've seen Demolition yourself, if you agree with my opinion or not, let me know below. You can always subscribe to my channel, check out the other videos I have up, and as always, until next time, I'll see you at the movies.